Welcome to another episode of Adding Perspective with Josh. I'm Josh.
I'm Coach Nrgy.
I'm Aphrodite.
And I'm Emmanuel.
All right, sports fans. This week we're going to talk about, can a relationship survive without sexual intimacy? Can a relationship survive or grow? And or grow without sexual intimacy? So, initial thought, no. That's my initial thought right there, okay? That's my initial thought right there, okay? Maybe that's my initial thought maybe that's because of what I value, okay? Maybe that's one of my value systems right there, okay? Like, maybe that's the reason, because to me, if you're with someone, they look nice, they look good, it'll be hard not to just, want to test that theory, want to touch that person, want to caress that person, want to hug that person right there, okay? So it's kind of hard because if one person's, more physically driven than the other, that could cause a lot of barriers. Like, it could cause a lot of issues when it comes to like connectivity. And that's not necessarily saying that, if, say for instance, you're with someone and then, medical issues start happening and something like that, then, that's understandable. Like, that's a little bit more of a way for you to have some type of empathy, compassion for the situation. So that's one way to kind of look at it. But if you with a person and it's something like, they have no libido or something like that, they sell all kinds of pills. They sell all they sell all kinds of stuff to fix that. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't make that the excuse why, things ain't happening. Okay. Because I've heard that. Like, some people say the darndest things when it comes to, sexual intimacy. They do. So how about that for you guys? Like, do you think a relationship can survive without, sexual intimacy?
I do. One being the reason that you mentioned, medical reasons. There are some people, and then age. There are some relationships, marriages, or just, people who are life partners or whatever, that are in a relationship with each other and there is no sex involved, because intimacy comes in so many other forms as well. And like you said, if it's a medical reason, then 9 times out of 10, the other person is being very understanding to, the reason for there being a lack of sexual intimacy. But then also another scenario of where a relationship or a marriage can still thrive without there being sexual intimacy are those relationships that are long distance. You have not every relationship are both people living within the same household or the same state, or even in some cases the same country. Let's use an example, military. You have some spouses or some couples or partners who they have so much distance between them to where there is no sexual intimacy within their relationship. However, the relationship is still growing and the relationship is still thriving because the sex portion that's not there is not what's the glue to their relationship. They put the effort and the energy into other parts of their relationship. They put the value, like you said, also, they put value into other things. I do believe that if both people have the same level of what they value sex being, like if their levels are within the same realm of each other, then, and if that value is low, then yeah, the relationship can still continue to thrive and grow without sexual intimacy, because intimacy, again, comes in multiple forms. So that's my initial response.
Not bad, it's good.
Well, thank you.
What's the young man's perspective? What we got? Okay.
A young man's perspective.
Uh-oh. Okay.
sexual intimacy is absolutely necessary. Okay. 100%. Okay. 100%. Now, we can talk about, the situations where there are restrictions to having that access. I think that's one thing, but all barriers, not in place is absolutely necessary. I think even in cases like I know military, personally, I know like there's some long distance relationships that happen with the military, and that's one of the big struggles that they have dealing with it. So it's lasting without it per se because there's no other option. But
that's
if
an option.
Aphrodite.
There's no other.
We are not connected today.
Physical. Well, that's right. Actually, that's a good point, Aphrodite. There are options, and those options actually get explored, right? So there are other ways to kind of satisfy the sexual intimacy part of a relationship that may not always mean two people physically being in the same room. And that's normally what happens, but I think that it still exists in that standpoint, right? That is still sexual intimacy, even if the people are not together. They found a way to kind of cope. But yeah, I think it's definitely necessary. I can't imagine a relationship without it, barring some type of like barrier that cannot be avoided. And that's kind of my take on that. Yeah, I think that's my take. That's my take.
2-1. Who we got? Go ahead, everybody.
Right.
I agree with Emmanuel. Let me tell you, it's necessary. Unless you got some other issues going on, okay, we got some medical issues, okay. But anything other than that, it's necessary.
It's essential.
Yes, and the thing about it is, even if they say it's growing, the relationship is growing, and we're not talking about the boundaries, the borders of having medical issues and that kind of stuff. We're talking about you healthy, they healthy. We're talking about, okay, we're in two different countries. We need to fly in between them countries and figure this thing out. Yeah, or else we need to figure something else out. So my thing is, it's necessary because it does put a strain on a relationship. It can hinder it from growing, and it can even split the relationship.
True. Yes, it can. If we're talking about relationships where one or both people have sexual intimacy high on their level of things that they value. Again, there are some relationships out there, some people that are out there where, it's not that important to them. They can get around to it whenever they get around to it, but they put value into other things that still have both people in the relationship connecting with each other and still being very intimate with each other. Intimacy, again, comes in various forms. But I think that for those relationships where it's of high value, absolutely, I agree with both of you. However, there are some relationships out there that don't value it that high to where it's not a necessity to that degree or to that, to that level.
Curveball situation. Is masturbation cheating?
Nope.
Is that considered cheating?
Nope.
Especially if you're in a relationship.
No.
With her.
No. No. Where is that?
If you're in a relationship where there's
they should have been there to enjoy it too. Then sorry, Charlie. Okay, I'm stop. Okay, I'm be good. Go ahead.
No, girl, keep it up. Don't stop.
I love it. No, I don't think it's cheating. I do not. I had this conversation with somebody, and they was like, "You robbing your partner of the satisfaction." Forget that. Because one thing about it is that need to be a conversation that y'all need to have, right? Because even that's part of sexual intimacy, one thing. And if I'm in another state, you're in another state, we're in another country. So why we can't masturbate? So I'm cheating because that's something we chose to do? No.
Valid point, it's valid point.
Get your flowers, have fun.
She named the product.
I caught it. Took me a second.
I think it just depends. It does. I think depends. I think. Well, I guess one thing she said, which adds value to her statement, is that conversation needs to happen, right? If there's a conversation that's been had and it's been understood that that's acceptable within a relationship, I think it's perfectly fine, right? If that conversation has not happened, I think that there could be some problems with that. Personally, I consider cheating anything that I wouldn't be doing with my partner. Okay? So, if I decide I want to go and masturbate to something on whatever, I personally don't think I would just take that action in front of my partner, because it's kind of disrespectful in a way, right? Because there's an image or a video that you are using to sexually arouse yourself, right? That's what happens. All right, there's an image or a video that you're focusing on to bring pleasure to yourself.
Not all the time. Y'all can video each other.
Okay, well, there you go. So there you go. So your partner's involved, right? So if your partner's involved, it's a green light. That's perfect. But if your partner is not involved, then I'm erring on the side of it being a form of cheating. I'm going to err on that side more if your partner is not involved, or if you can
get your stuff out without a video, without looking at other stuff.
There's an image. There's got to be an image in your head.
No, sweetie. No. When you get a little skill, you'll understand. It's not. It ain't always got to be an image.
It's an image,
it does not always have to be an image.
Okay, so what is it?
Not always have to be an image.
Let's educate us.
Let's educate on sex.
Okay, so what? No,
you don't always have to have. You don't always have to be looking at a porn movie. You don't always got to be looking or listening to that kind of stuff in order to get off. You can do. Do you have a vivid imagination?
There's an image. Okay.
No, I'm talking about you can have a vivid imagination of your partner and they not even be there.
Okay, well, then that's what we say again. It's your partner. So
but the thing about it is, I'm not looking at anything, but I can imagine them sucking, kissing, whatever it is,
the image,
and still have a masturbation pleasure.
Right, because you created an image.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, it's still not cheating though. If
it's of your partner, it's green light. I'm happy. That's great. But if it's not of your partner, then that is cheating.
Oh,
I'm erring.
I disagree.
It's not in its entirety cheating, but I would err on that being more so cheating than not cheating.
Okay. Well, I don't agree.
Because I guarantee you, your partner wouldn't be happy to know that you're getting sexual pleasure off of the image or of the vision of someone else. Right? And if your partner is okay with that, then great. Not cheating at all. But if you can't sit here and say your partner's perfectly fine with you getting sexual satisfaction off of the image or the video of another man or another woman, then I'm going to say that's going to be cheating.
Okay.
That would be my take.
Gotcha. Understood.
That's just my take. But maybe, Nrgy, Josh, I
know, because Nrgy, Josh is looking at this, man.
I flare into there, I'm not anti-masturbation, okay? I'm not.
Hey,
but,
it sound like you waving the flag. You sound like, hey, I'm anti.
It's situational. You know, I think, you know, like I said, people view cheating.
I mean, it is some people that feel like that. You know, that's why I was in a conversation with somebody that kind of felt like that, but I don't feel like that. So
some people don't feel like anything is cheating unless you're actually having physical sex with somebody. It's a myriad of beliefs, you know, but it just depends on the person and it depends on the relationship.
Yeah. You're right.
It's true.
It does.
Yeah.
That's always an interesting topic, though. Is that really cheating or not cheating? Because
I think it's up to the individual.
Yeah.
You know what's also interesting about that? Depending on the level of individuals that a person has been with in their life, 9 times out of 10, you've probably been with a person that has done that in their, life. And you probably was with that person. So did you consider that still cheating even though you was with that person?
That's never happened to me.
How do you know? How do you know?
Not in my view.
How do you know?
Not in my view. I'm talking about what I've seen. Now they go into the bathroom, they go in another room. Okay, all right. But I'm not seeing this happening. But I know it happens. I mean, I believe that it happens, right?
Yeah.
I think that it's not the most comforting thing to know.
Yeah.
It leads to a level of unsatisfaction, right? So your partner's probably doing this because there's been a satisfaction level that hasn't been achieved, right? So personally for me, that's kind of how I would look at it. I would look at it as, it would just be a little, I guess, concerning for me personally. Like, okay, maybe I need to do something different, but I wouldn't want the resort to be just, all right, I'm just gonna go masturbate, especially, without me knowing. Yeah. So I think from that standpoint, it's by far not the severest form of cheating. It's probably one of the smallest, if any, form of cheating. I don't think it's really cheating in its, in the larger sense. It's not a bad strike on a person, but it's not something that I would want my partner to be doing regularly.
Yeah. Because I was gonna say too that some people may view that as an outlet if their partner, so to speak, doesn't have a high libido. So essentially, I'm guessing you have to fill in the gap somehow, right? Like you have to fill in those gaps somehow, right? Because so consider it, right? So if you're with someone, then that person says, "Hey, we should do this act 7 to 8 times a week," basically. But for you, you're saying that, hey, I can only give you that strong 4, right? That's all I can give you, right? Then what are you really expecting that person to like do there, right? Like, it's either A, you meet them in the middle, or B, they just got to figure it out for themselves at that point.
Yeah, I mean, in that circumstance, go for it. I'm still not gonna be happy about it, but at the end of the day, there's only 2 options: A, get your libido up, or B, understand and accept that your partner has a high sex drive. For her or for his peace of mind or comfort or equilibrium, they need that to be tapped into. And if you're unable to do that, then masturbation would be the next second best option. Because if that isn't it, then they start looking for another partner, which masturbation looks real good in comparison. It looks real good in comparison to that, right? So you just gotta pick your poison, man. It's not ideal, and I think it's if it's a conversation like Aphrodite was saying, if y'all have talked about it, y'all know that, sexual fulfillment is an issue, and that's been kind of, made clear, then, great, it's what's gotta happen, but yeah, that's kind of my take on that.
Nrgy, you quiet. Ooh, you quiet.
Real quiet.
What?
You see that brain just over there going like this. shake her head a little bit, nod a little bit.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You didn't even ask the question. Is masturbation cheating?
So I'm going to answer the one that you all were just talking about, what Emmanuel just said. So let's just say, or the scenario you just brought up.
Okay.
Let's just say you have one partner who has a very high sex drive. They want, 7 days a week. There's 7 times a week. There's 7 days in a week. And then they have, they're with someone who kind of taps out at about 4 times a week.
Yeah.
To me, I think it would be a better solution for the person who may need or want it for the 7 days a week to use some discipline, to increase or improve their level of discipline to where they can get that sex drive under control. So for me, that's more important when it comes to that type of situation. Like, can my partner control his sex drive to where if he doesn't get it on a particular day, he can still manage throughout that day without without having an attitude or without being physically affected down there or whatever, because there may be some times where in life something may happen, whether it be, with your job, it may take you, out of town, or like we were talking earlier, a medical issue where it just may not work out as far as the timing to where 7 days a week is going to be realistic. Just speaking from a realistic standpoint, that's not, I'm not going to say rare, but it's not that often where both people in a relationship are going to be able to do it 7 days a week, all day, every week, every month. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's something that has to stop. I mean, even with the female being on her menstruation, like, you have to be able to control yourself at least for a few days. So that's where I would be pushing for, in that scenario that you brought up, for the person, whoever has a high sex drive, to learn or increase their discipline and to get it under control. So.
Yeah, I think that's a good option as well. We didn't explore that option, but calm down. Calm down. Calm down.
Go sit down.
Now, one day,
down.
A little break. Calm down.
Right.
You ain't gotta go to the bathroom. You gotta do all that. Just relax. Put you on the show. Watch the movie. Go to sleep.
Oh,
that's 100%. There you go. Hey, all that stuff. You know what? It's not okay. You know what? They need to get some patience. They need to calm down. Okay. Perfect. Yeah. It's not okay. I take my statement back. They need to get some patience. They need to get some patience. They're gonna be all right. Energy hit the nail on the head with that. They need to get out of control. They need to get some discipline. They need to get them some discipline. Okay, 4 out of 7 ain't bad. That's more than half. Okay? That's more than half. That's every other day. Come on now.
Exactly.
Oh,
yeah.
Gosh. You gotta let your partner's stuff kind of calm down too. Like,
exactly. Yeah.
There's a lot of nerves and it's sensitive down there.
And I'm sensitive about my shit.
Yeah.
Shoot. Can I recoup?
Oh my gosh, man.
I'm just saying.
There you go.
Woo.
Honestly, I feel like it's gonna be some people that's gonna disagree with that. Like what you just said about the discipline thing. I feel like the people just gonna be like, come on now. I gotta be more disciplined.
Because that's the hard route versus the easy route of, not having to do the work, being able to just say, nah, I don't, that's harder. It takes effort to actually do that. Being disciplined in certain areas, especially when it comes to the physical body, it's not necessarily the easy route, and most people are gonna, go another way.
Yeah. It'll also add value to the times where you guys are actually able to be sexually intimate. Right?
Exactly.
So not every single day. Then you're more eager. You're more engaged. It's going to be more fulfilling.
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to get old real quick. Every day.
Exactly. It's going to be watered down.
I'm just saying it's going to start to lose some substance, okay? In more ways than one.
I wasn't expecting you to jump ship, okay? I wouldn't, okay? I knew you was gonna do it. I knew you was gonna do it, okay?
Hey, I'm just saying it's a good perspective, okay? I can't.
It is.
Hey,
It is a good perspective.
it's a good perspective, but I can count on you for that, boy. I swear, boy. Like you.
Hey, you can count on me to jump on the right ship. Okay? I want to be on the right ship, okay? And I had to switch ships real quick.
You did, okay?
That's right.
This one got good food though. I mean, you should.
It's got discipline food. The hell, she discipline your body. What are you talking about?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Josh, you silly.
Oh my gosh. Man. Yeah, there's a lot of ways to look at that. When it comes to can a relationship survive without, sexual intimacy? Okay, so I got another scenario here, right? So what if, right? What if you're a person within a relationship with somebody and they started off the relationship going heavy into the sexual intimacy portion, but then decided to stop? I'm not sure if you ever heard it. People do that before.
Houston, we have a problem.
Like, have anybody heard of that before? Like,
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that happens.
That's normal.
you say that's normal?
Yeah.
But for a lot, I mean, I ain't gonna say it's normal. Wait, that's not what I'm saying.
But it happens.
But it happens.
Yeah.
A lot of couples go through that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be for varying things. Like maybe, in most relationships at the very beginning, you're more interested. You're more you're not as knowledgeable about a person's sexual ability, about their sexual capabilities, how they look in that way. So you're going to be more aggressively trying to make those sexual advances, right? In the beginning. After
you need to keep that on up. That's that same aggression.
Yeah, that generally doesn't maintain.
Don't start. Don't. Because you want to know why, and that's why the problem comes in, because you had all that energy to start off with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You put all that in, and then now we're a year, 2 years down the line. You like, oh well, I ain't got to do that no more because I already got what I, no.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need for you to go back and get that and come back.
Yeah. So what she's saying is right. That's just comfortability. People just get comfortable, and I think that's part of why it might drop as well. People just comfortable, or it's not changing. It's the same thing. The same approach, same foreplay, same positions. Like, so people just get to the point where it's just like, all right, here we go. Go on and bend over. All right, go ahead and do your thing, and then it just
Did you say bend over?
Did you say that?
it's not as exciting no more. It's like, all right, come on. You know what we about to do. Come on now.
Oh, don't approach it like that. You know what we about to do.
After so long, if it's not different, if it's not any spontaneity in there, that becomes the approach, and then people get bored.
That's true.
And then also sometimes in a relationship, people get comfortable as well, and they lose their figure, or they don't take care of themselves as well. And when that happens, your partner may not be as wanting or willing to make those sexual advances, right? So that could be another thing. Maybe you have kids and children. Maybe now the opportunities aren't as bountiful. You can't be as free when it comes to doing that. So now, just in general, your drive just starts to drop because the likelihood is not going to be as high. right? So now you're not as aggressively approaching that either, you know? So like, but between all of these different things that could be going on, it does generally drop. That's what I've seen.
Yeah. And that's why both people need to be really intentional at the very beginning and having that conversation with their communication. They need to be very intentional about, okay, this is my preference. This is what I desire. What's your preference? What do you desire? And see how well they mesh with each other. And then also, if they do decide that, okay, you know, I can work with your level of your libido, you can work with mine. And then as the relationship continues to go on, they need to be very intentional about keeping it fresh and hot and spicy. So therefore it doesn't get watered down and boring, just like you were describing, Emmanuel.
And bend over.
And yeah, bend over. You know what it is.
There's some diversity, you know? Diversity is always good. It's like diversity. Diversity is the key, okay?
It is. It's the key. I mean, that was a good thought. What you said, Nrgy. You said in the beginning, you know, asking the person, "Hey, is this sufficient enough for you?" In the beginning, but people change, right? Like somebody can tell you, "Hey, 4 times is great for me," and stuff like that. You know, a couple months, couple years down the line, person start going back to the gym, start looking good and stuff like that. Hey, maybe that 4 times ain't good no more. Like, maybe that 4 times need to be like 6, 7 times or whatever. Hey, I'm just saying. Like, hey, you factor that in, okay? Yep. That quality of life start changing. People's attitudes start changing too.
It does.
Yes.
I'm telling you.
That's true.
Hey.
That's when they need discipline.
Wow. Wow.
That's when they need to be open to exercise and discipline, okay? Yep, don't hold your head. Yep, we need to be disciplined. Okay? Discipline, okay?
You over here talking about discipline, man.
We need to be disciplined.
Oh, man.
Be open to being disciplined. Don't have an
but you have to. But you do have to understand, like what Josh was saying, when it's especially in females. I don't know I can't answer this for males, but especially in females, like they libido majority of the time heighten like 5 times if they drop a lot of weight and start really getting healthy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying discipline is out the window. That's not what I'm saying at all. I agree with discipline, but that partner gonna have to step it up, like in all honesty, because it's so different on how the female can handle it, and especially depending on the age of the female, because that makes a difference. You know what I'm saying? Depending on the age of the female. And when between her age and I'm not sure, but like when they hit their 40s, they libido like really get there. You know what I'm saying? Then they don't drop some weight and got finer, because they probably was already fine. So we're gonna say they don't got finer. You know what I'm saying? And all that's clashing together. It is really, really difficult without you having your partner understanding that, listen, we got to hit this, you know what I'm saying, until I can get more discipline. We need to hit this a little bit better. It's
right. You just gotta be honest, hey babe, look, if we're not gonna do it every day, like, you gotta show up. All right. You gotta show up. Okay. That's an easy conversation. All right. Look, I want to do it more often. Okay, you don't want to do it very often. Okay, I understand. But you gotta show up. You gotta show up, okay? It's gonna be 4 or 5 times. You gotta show up.
Hey,
it's an easy conversation.
That conversation ain't easy. Okay, that conversation ain't easy. Don't say that's easy. Nah.
It's easy. Hey, your partner gotta be understanding. You gotta give and take. So, like, if you ain't gonna commit to 7 days a week, you gotta commit to, showing up. Showing up to work.
People selfish, man. Like, people selfish. Hey,
That's true. That's true.
Okay, like you could ask for more, but you probably won't get more. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll be asked. Hey, depending on the person, you'll just be asking. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll just be really just asking for a person to kind of meet you in the middle. Because if you think about it, in that area, once a person starts asking you for more of something, you start assessing your ability at that point. Like you start having that conversation. You start having that conversation with yourself. Can I provide more?
Right.
Like they asked me for it, but can I provide? Can I provide more? Right? And if you get that one inkling of insecurity, right, that one thing, it ain't happening. Okay? It ain't happening. It's not. Because then it becomes a convincing thing. Like you have to convince that person that this is going to be the right decision. Like that's what you don't want. Like you don't want to have a conversation where it's like, this is a need for me. I need you to help me fulfill it. And that person starts taking a self-assessment and they figure out that maybe I can't feel that need. Maybe I can't feel that need. You know what I'm saying? Then that creates a whole separate set of events right there where masturbation might be that option. You know what I'm saying? Like it just came back on the table. It just came back on the table.
I don't know, man. There is a way, right? There's a will, there's a way, right? I believe that. Okay. So if your partner really wants to satisfy, their partner, they will find a way. And it might mean, getting out of their comfort zone. But, you gotta find a way, man. You gotta find a way. You gotta find a way.
You're right. In theory, what you're saying works. In theory, you're saying the right thing in theory. Right. But in practicality, it's so many excuses that can come up. Okay, like my back hurt. I'm tired from work.
That's whatever. This is why relationships are struggling. I'm just saying. You're gonna only go so long unfulfilled. You know what I'm saying? That's just practicality, all right? That's just being practical, And I think sexual intimacy is the area people have to be fulfilled in, they need some type of fulfillment. Don't have to be the physical act of having sexual intercourse, but there needs to be some sexual intimate form of something going on in a relationship.
Yeah.
For sure.
But don't you think that's also an interesting thing too? Because when people talk about sexual intimacy, they only think about the act of penetration,
right?
But they don't really consider all the other avenues before that.
Exactly. There's a lot of avenues.
It is. It is.
That's true.
It is.
You can't tell me you can't hit the mark on none of them. I don't know. It might not be for you. Okay? It might not be for you. Yeah.
But that's the thing though. Like if you really consider it, when a person might ask a person for more of that particular area, most people don't consider. I think that most people may not consider the other factors other than sex because of the comparability of that other stuff, right? Like the other stuff, like the foreplay aspect of it. Like if a person's not experienced with it or comfortable with it, 9 times out of 10, all they really can do is provide you with that other part, which is the penetration part, like that part right there. Like,
I don't know. I think in life, you got to be open to being uncomfortable, right? At some point.
Most people.
But everybody's not.
Everybody's been uncomfortable at some point.
You're right, but most people don't return to the uncomfortable spot. No, you know what I'm saying? Like people have been uncomfortable, but you don't return to the part that's uncomfortable.
You don't intentionally go to uncomfortable.
There you go.
Finds you.
Right.
There you go.
Right. And they wasn't open to it. It just had to, come to them. It ain't like they say, I'm about to go over here and be uncomfortable.
Right.
Like, it ain't too many people that go to the uncomfortable part, because let's be honest, we like comfortability.
Right. That's true. Well,
Yeah, like comfortability, don't like rejection.
Nope.
Don't like it. Don't like rejection.
that's true.
Don't like rejection
That's true.
at all. Okay, especially in regards to any sexual intimacy. Don't like rejection, boy. Don't.
That's a good point. Yeah.
People get real hesitant when you start getting rejection.
We don't like getting rejected at all. Yeah, that's true.
Hey, I'm telling you, like that's how most situations in regards to sexual intimacy end in frustration. Like one person, other person being frustrated because of that, that whole meeting a particular need, and then the whole rejection thing that subsequently follows.
Right.
So, I mean, I think that's kind of part of it. I mean, I think we touched on this a little bit. Communication, yeah, it's key to sexual intimacy. It's very key. Okay, it's one of the keys. It is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I still don't think masturbation is cheating.
I don't either, but it's okay.
I mean, that's a more extreme view. I will say that. Like, it's a more extreme. So I wouldn't expect it to be just, oh yeah, it is. Like I wouldn't expect that type of reception. It's extreme. I understand.
It's not extreme.
It's extreme. No, it is extreme.
It's just a viewpoint. That's all it is.
It's a viewpoint. It's an extreme one. It's
just a viewpoint. Just as much of a viewpoint as self-control. You know what I'm saying? Just as much of a viewpoint. Right?
That ain't extreme.
Did y'all say self-control is extreme?
Hey, he don't like that self-control.
Right. Clearly.
Not in that area. Not in that area. I like self-control.
7 days a week, okay?
Y'all said we can do self-control, but we can't do self-control in that area.
Right.
Hey.
Really?
Hey.
I said it's no discipline there, Sean.
Hey, we already talked about my criteria in that area, okay?
You have to be above average. You understand?
He ain't rocking with that.
Above. Then you talking about discipline when I need above?
Nah.
Not the Josh.
Hey,
Not the Josh.
That's not what you signed up for. Nah.
Okay.
Josh said that ain't what you signed up for.
I ain't seen
But Josh said things change. We might have signed up for it at the beginning, but things change.
Hey,
Right.
Nah.
Mm-hmm.
We put that on paper. That's in the contract. Nah, we doing that.
Contracts can be broken.
Hey, that's how people get sued. No, we doing it. Nah.
Get sued. I tell you.
Oh my God.
That's too much.
This guy. Yo, whose man's is this?
Exactly. Whose man's is this?
Oh.
Ooh, I hate to see our contract.
Our contract is not explicitly outlined. None of that's out. But
And bold level.
It is. Yeah, it is. In bold, it is typed in all caps. All of it. It's right across the paper.
Above and no discipline. Okay? Understand?
Hey, I don't have that many criteria, okay? It's just a couple. That's a criteria right there. It's right there, okay?
At the
Right there,
bottom
black
of the
and white.
contract, it says exercise discipline as needed. All right, we got in bold, and we got 2 asterisks on the end, okay? Exercise discipline as needed. Okay? That's all right. That's it. That's it.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, but if you think about it in those terms, whether you put it on paper or not, if you with somebody, that idea of that need for you is there. Okay, you might not say it, but it's there. Like that's the thing. Like for some people, it's a short list. It ain't like it's a long list. It's a few things that you just need.
Yeah,
that's true. I agree.
Nothing wrong with that, you know. As long as all these needs are stated in the beginning, we are all under the same umbrella, and we have some black ink to sign.
God.
Interesting.
Oh man!
Turn your camera off.
Please. No, the mic off.
Right.
Yeah, I tried earlier. I can't.
Okay. Gosh.
I tried to cut them off. I couldn't.
Okay.
What?
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm just having fun. Jeez, okay? Can't I have fun?
Of course.
Jeez. We were talking about sexual intimacy. Why not? But
it's your perspective. Yes.
Yeah.
Continue.
And you're entitled to that.
Exactly.
How outrageous it may be. Yes, it is.
No matter what. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I think we've all had some doozies here today. We have.
Yes.
Yes.
You just topped it. Yep.
What? I just topped it? Hey, self-discipline topic. Okay? Self-discipline. That about made me pass out. Self-discipline.
That is terrible.
It is.
Oh my God.
Look at that. Look how they respond to something.
Right.
Wow.
That's the absurdity. Oh my God. You have self-discipline. Oh my God.
Right.
How could you?
The audacity.
How could you just mention that?
Hey, that's like testing me out of something. Like,
Yeah.
I'm done.
Somebody go over there and take Mike. Take Josh, Mike, and the whole nine. Like,
right. Well, that's another episode of Adding Perspective with Josh.
Hey, right.
We're not gonna give him the last word.
No.
Oh man.
Emmanuel, please be ready for the last word.
Oh man, that's funny. What? Like, what's the problem? Okay, did we go down a rabbit hole? Is that what happened?
We need closure.
No.
We need closure. It's like a bad relationship. Okay?
Oh, this is like a good relationship. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay,
We need some closure.
hey, this is one of the most fulfilling relationships ever, right here. Okay, like,
Says who?
The no discipline.
Yeah. This is one-sided, okay? This is one-sided.
how's it one-sided?
It's not one-sided when they signed the contract, Nrgy.
See, boom, look at that. See? Yeah. That was part of the negotiation right there. Okay? It's like, these are the terms, like right here. Okay? Yeah, and arbitration and everything. Right here. Look. Boom.
Wow.
I could just imagine having that as one of my cases in arbitration or mediation.
Listen.
Oh my God.
And how would it go? Nrgy? How would it go?
Girl.
First of all, I probably would have to walk out the room, get my life together,
Right.
and then come back.
Right. All of that.
Yeah.
You are in breach of contract.
Oh boy, I tell you.
Nrgy, that's when you sit in the chair and you like fold your feet in the chair like you do.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh man, that's funny.
And you just stick your toes up and then you know what I'm saying, to distract them, you just stick your feet up.
Hey, don't say nothing about no feet. You have a man you're running. Now stop it now. Okay, look, I see him cringing. I see him rocking back and forth.
Oh my God.
He was about to run.
Right. He was getting real nervous.
Yeah, man.
Try to control. You see that control over there? You see that control? Right. Shoulders don't got kind of tight.
Hey.
Relax the shoulders. It's okay.
Nah.
It's okay. It's okay, man. Bring it down. Bring it down just a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. Breathe.
There you go. Yeah. I can't with y'all tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is going on? What is the Well, that's another episode of Adding Perspective with Josh.
No, we ain't done yet.
That's Josh. I'm Coach Nrgy.
We even talk about what we landed on this whole position of, can a relationship survive without sexual intimacy? Like, what did we land on it? We just like, everybody has diverse.
We'll agree to disagree.
Diverse feelings about this topic.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Me and Emmanuel, we're in the same boat.
You don't want to be disciplined.
I didn't want to be disciplined. I just said it wasn't in the contract.
Okay, well, discipline is not in your contract. Emmanuel said it's cheating to a certain point. I said it ain't cheating. Nrgy said what she said because she had a whole line of things to say.
She did.
But she brought up a discipline that you disagreed with. So we're going to all agree to disagree that it could be yes and it could be no. It's just individualized.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Very good, Aphrodite. Awesome.
That's
a good summary.
Yes.
Yeah.
But actually, Nrgy had a 14-point plan.
Yeah, but we didn't have time to do the plan.
Right.
Okay. Right.
Discipline was the one I disagreed on. I think that was number 12.
Emmanuel.
But we do agree that we have to communicate that.
We do.
Yes.
We agree on that.
Yes.
Woo.
We can all agree on that.
Yes.
Every time we communicate.
Yes.
Communication in the beginning, the middle. There'll be communication there.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Avoid frustrations or any other issues that might, go along with frustration. Okay.
That's right.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Another episode of Added Perspective, right?
Yes.
Yes.
This episode of Added Perspective with Josh. I'm Josh.
I am Coach Nrgy.
I am Aphrodite.
And I'm Emmanuel. And practice self-discipline. Okay.
Boom.
Please exercise it.
Yes, please. It's for the best.